Welcome to this bassline tutorial. I'm going to jump right into it. And the very first thing when we're talking about basslines is to think about the melody in your head, to come up with the melody in your head. Hum it, sing it, conceptualize the beautiful idea right there. So when you're out and about, record it on your phone, and then when you're back in the studio, play it on your keyboard, improvise it, or plug in MIDI notes. There's also another way. This is an Ableton 9. It's not in any previous Ableton, and I absolutely love it. It's when you can convert audio to MIDI. You don't even got to play the melody that you hum. You can record it, and it'll convert it to MIDI. Very simple. I'm going to show you how to do it. So here is a audio record of a bass line. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so we right-click the sample, and we go over here to convert melody to new MIDI. Now you also have harmony, which would be like chords and notes being simultaneously being played. We also have, you can convert to drums. You could beatbox. You could take another audio recording of drums, and you can get the MIDI data information from that. Boom. Boom. So we take it, pitch it down an octave, and here it is. Perfect. It makes life so much easier. The next thing I want to talk about is how, if you're going to plug in your notes rather than play it. First of all, I highly suggest always playing your bass lines and always playing your parts. And if you have to type it in, go ahead and type it in. No problem. But I'm going to show you how to humanize that. So there's two ways. One is when messing with the velocity, and one's messing with the time. So the first thing is messing with the time, and what we do is we slightly move each one as to add a little bit of human variation to it. The next way is add some random. This is in the MIDI effects in the velocity section, and it randomly produces different velocity. It's perfect, and you just basically just add a little bit of it, and it just adds a wonderful human touch to it. The next thing is groove pools, and with groove pools, I discussed this also in the drum tutorial. So we go over here and we find a cool groove. That's the groove pool button over here. We find a cool groove that we like. We play the sample, and we find a cool one. When we find a cool one, we go ahead and hit commit, and you'll see that when we select a groove pool and we hit commit, you'll see that all the notes just shifted like that. And you could create a variety of them. You can have variations of them. The next thing is finding the right sound for your bass line. There's two ways of going about it. First, coming up with the melody, and then finding the sound, which I prefer. It saves you time. Or there's going through the different sounds and finding a melody through those sounds. Basically, looking through the different sounds, and maybe a melody strikes when you hear them. The next biggest thing is layering. That's single-handedly, when we're talking bass lines, layering, it always comes down to it. And whatever you want your bass line to do, layer it with sub. Now, I love FM8 sub. You can use operator sub. You can use any synth sub, but layer it up, and it adds that wonderful heart and that depth that you're looking for in a bass line. Add a couple different bass lines together, and it's all, when it comes down to that, it's all personal preference. So whatever works for you. For example, I'll show you the bass line with the sub. So here you have a bass line, and then add the nice sub, and if you wanted to add another one, okay, or a different one, okay, so whatever works for you. The next thing is a high-pass filter. Throughout the song, it's always good. You don't want it really thumping the whole song. So what's great is putting a high-pass filter, an EQ3 on the bass. For example, right here, having EQ3, automating and turning on the EQ3, or having EQ8 and cutting out all the low ends. And automating this, so the melody is still being played, but it's not like you don't feel the punch of it. So when the drop happens, you turn off the EQ3 and then turn off the EQ8, and then boom, then you feel it. That's honestly works great. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. And the last thing I want to show you is a delay. I love putting a delay on the bass line. So I use a send and return, and I send the bass over to a ping pong delay. And I make sure that this ping pong delay is only being delayed the higher frequencies, because you don't want those low frequencies being delayed. It will make the low end muddy, you'll have phase issues, and this adds a nice, wonderful touch. I'll show you. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with, if you don't like using presets, which I really don't either, I like creating the custom sound, pick one synth, whether it's Massive, FM8, whether it's Operator, any of the Ableton synths, Zebra, Gladiator, whatever it is, pick one a month and master it. That's all for now. Good luck, have fun.